Hello and welcome to our webinar, Fall and Winter Picture Books. Before we begin, I'd like to go over some technical details. Today's slide presentation and title list were included in the reminder email you received from Zoom 1 hour ago. To download them, please open that email, scroll to the bottom, and click on the links located there. You can also download the slides and title list by typing the URLs on this screen into your web browser. If you have any trouble, please contact us at webinars@booklistonline.com. The audience is in listen-only mode, but we welcome any questions you may have. On the bottom of your screen is a toolbar with a section for Q&A. If you have a question or need technical assistance, simply click Q&A and type your message into the box that appears. We will do our best to respond to all tech-related questions and will pass along all other questions to today's panelists so they can follow up with you after the webinar. Booklist offers closed captioning on all webinars. To enable or disable them on your screen, please look for and click the Show Captions icon on the toolbar mentioned earlier. If you choose to enable subtitles, you can adjust the size of them at any time by selecting Caption Settings. And finally, Booklist expects all participants to maintain an atmosphere of respect and fairness. Anyone who violates the standard of behavior, including engaging in any form of harassment, may, at the discretion of the organizers, be immediately removed. Today, we have the pleasure of hearing from Jasmine Ferrafino, Associate Marketer at Random House Children's Books School and Library Team, Sam Devoda, Marketing and Sales Manager at Tundra Books, Justin Timble, Publicity Assistant at Tundra Books, Carrie McManus, Marketing Director of Astra Books for Young Readers, Addie Marin, Marketing Assistant at Astra Books for Young Readers, Jill Davis, Editorial Director of Hippo Park, an imprint of Astra Books for Young Readers, Meryl Rainey, Illustrator of On the Air with Dr. Doodlebug from Hippo Park, Sarah McKenzie, Publisher of Waxwing Books, and Deborah Sloan, Publicity and Marketing Consultant for Blue Dot Kids Press. We'll begin with Jasmine Ferrafino. Jasmine is an Associate Marketer in the School and Library Team at Random House Children's Books. Take it away, Jasmine.
Hello, and we're going to start off with When the Sun Goes Down. Discover where creatures go and when the sun sets in this interactive bedtime story for sleepy animal lovers by the award-winning creator Greg Pizzoli. Ideal for curious children and restless readers who crave one more story before bed, this captivating picture book offers a glimpse into the nighttime routines of beloved animals. This is the perfect final read before turning out the light. Next slide, please. I'm so happy you're here. Librarian and TikTok sensation Michael Threets invites everyone to discover themselves at the library. Perfect for young readers who are regular visitors or stepping into the stacks for the first time. This book promotes literacy and encourages kids to find a creative outlet in the library. It's for those who already believe in the magic of books and those looking for a place where they'll always belong. Michael shares useful tips on how the library can be a resource or a cool hangout spot. It serves as an important reminder that libraries are inclusive and promote freedom of expression. Next slide, please. Ramadan Rain. Join Haneen and her mama in this heartwarming celebration of family, faith as they observe Eid and the end of Ramadan with the prayers on a rainy day. Haneen quickly learns that gratitude for family and community is the greatest gift of all. This timeless and evergreen message resonates with everyone. This book is a wonderful introduction to the traditions and values of Ramadan and Eid. It highlights the importance of having more books about and for Muslim children. Next slide, please. Ritu and the Sun, a lyrical picture book that captures one little girl's encounter with colorism. While many picture books address prejudice and racism, few tackle colorism. Discrimination against darker skin tones within the same racial or ethnic group. This beautiful picture book is a valuable resource for readers to explore these important and complex topics. This poignant story encourages children to embrace their unique beauty and celebrate the transformative power of light and love. Next slide, please. Two Artists and Granddad and Me, by the granddaughter of the renowned Caldecott Medal-winning children's book illustrator Jerry Pinkney. Two Artists and Granddad and Me is a heartwarming tribute to our ancestors, celebrating the power of art, the beauty of storytelling, and the special bond between generations. Based on the loving relationship of the author and illustrator with her grandfather, this story encourages young readers to explore their artistic talents and understand that there is no right way to create art. Next slide, please. Navigating Night. A girl accompanies her father on this route delivering Chinese takeout in this heartfelt picture book by Apollo Award-winning winner Julie Long. This story celebrates the special bond between immigrant parents and their children, depicting a loving father-daughter relationship. Julie Long has 2 Apollo Awards, one for A Paper Sun, the inspiring story of Tyrus Wong, immigrant and artist, and she is also the Caldecott honor-winning author for The Truth About Dragons. Next slide, please. Miles Ahead. New from award-winning author Min Lee, in this fun picture book, an adorable dog, Miles, helps his family put together a new gift after a present for a new baby goes missing. This heartwarming story reminds readers that the most special gifts often can't be bought in a store. With lively dialogue, playful and detailed illustrations, and a clever ending, it tells a tale of one's family discovery of what truly makes a special gift. Next slide, please. Momo Sees the Sea. Embark on an underwater hide-and-seek adventure. This enchanting tale, part of the new Seuss Studio line of beginning books, is inspired by the never-before-seen sketches by Dr. Seuss. It celebrates curiosity and encourages readers to discover the hidden magic in the world around them. Seuss Studios features original stories and artwork from emerging authors and illustrators, with each story inspired by unique sketches from the Dr. Seuss archives. Next slide, please. The Future Book. We are thrilled to introduce a new picture book from kid lit sensation Mark Burnett and superstar illustrator Sean Harris. In the future, books are incredibly popular, and one of the most beloved is the Future Book. Turn the pages to explore what else has changed in the future and discover how certain word combinations create a hilarious narrative that will have readers laugh out loud in the bolly hoo hoo. With silly phrases and funny Mad Lib outcomes, readers will be cracking up and begging to read this book out loud again and again. Next slide, please. Wildest Thing. The New York Times bestselling author / illustrator Emily Winfield Martin creates an enchanting picture book about a child finding their wild self. What would you do if you let the wild in? Eleanor loved wild things, every wing and wild sprout. There was something wild inside of her, waiting to come out. This thoughtful and beautiful picture book can be used as a discussion starter and a resource to help encourage kids to be themselves and unleash their inner wild. Next slide, please. Bing Cherries, a modern American tale spun by a girl and her father about a Bing, the Chinese immigrant behind the Pacific Northwest's most delectable cherries. With heartfelt text and rich illustration, Livia Blackburn and Julia Q create an unforgettable Chinese American folktale that has largely remained unfold. While many Americans are familiar with Bing Cherries, few know the story of a man behind the delicious fruit through a young girl's imagination. Livia and Julie beautifully capture his contribution and spirit. Next slide, please. Houdini's Library. Discover the captivating story of Harry Houdini, the legendary magician and devoted book collector who believed in the magic of books. Brought to life by the author of Caldecott Honor book, The Noisy Paint Box, Barb Robinstock, this picture book biography honors the joy of reading and the importance of libraries, making it a perfect choice for teachers and librarians to seek an inspiring biography that will ignite a passion for reading in children. Next slide, please. Chickasaurus. Get ready for a prehistoric adventure. This humorous action-packed picture book from National Geographic Kids explores dinosaurs from both the past and present. Something has just hatched. Could it be a fearsome T-Rex? Each page presents a photogenic clue and fascinating dino facts, revealing parts of the creature's body one by one until the final surprising conclusion. Spoiler alert, this dinosaur is a chicken. Next slide. Black Hands, new from Caldecott honor-winning team behind the Freedom in Congo Square and Carol Boston Weatherford and R. Gregory Christie, celebrate the myriad ways the African-American community whose contribution have to go unseen has laid the foundation of the United States in this beautiful, poetic picture book. Black hands molded clay, chiseled marble, rendered portraits, and painted vistas. Black hands penned literary testaments that have stood the test of time. This picture book will be published just in time for the 250th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence. Next slide, please. Let It Shine. Also coming this season from award-winning author Carol Boston Weatherford is a joyful picture book inspired by the popular African-American spiritual This Little Light of Mine. This delightful book will have readers singing along to the beloved tune. Next slide, please. New to our list, we have some Tiger Tail books to tell you about. Starting with Carnival Queen, join Kayla, Mommy, and Granny as they get ready for Carnival, the year's biggest celebration. It's a joyous event that honors community, courage, heritage, and the most colorful festival of the year, featuring back matter that introduces traditional holiday celebrations from around the globe. Next slide, please. And the final book in my list is Marcy and Giraffe. Meet Marcy and Giraffe, two friends brimming with personality in this book filled with whimsical illustrations. This story teaches readers to use creativity to navigate big feelings together. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, Jasmine. And now we'll hear from Sam Devoda and Justin Timble. Sam is the Marketing and Sales Manager, School and Library at Penguin Random House Canada. Since 2017, she has worked in both marketing and publicity for young readers' titles at PRHC and is now exploring the world of library sales, connecting with librarians and wholesalers across Canada, as well as at trade shows in the US, unless she's traveling for a concert. Justin is a publicity assistant at Penguin Random House Canada who shares his time in publicity equally between the kids team and the adult imprints. He particularly enjoys helping with Tundra's picture book campaigns as well as McClelland and Stewart's poetry titles. He would also like to extend a non-divisive Go Blue Jays this October. Thanks for joining us, Sam and Justin. The floor is yours.
Hi everyone, this is Sam speaking. Thanks so much for tuning into this webinar. Let's dive in with the next slide. We're starting strong with one of my favorite creators, X Fang. You may recognize her name from Dim Sum Palace and We Are Definitely Human, and she delivers the same deadpan humor and bold colors in her latest picture book, Broken. While playing around, Mei Mei accidentally breaks her Amma's favorite cup and is instantly racked by guilt. But she can't just confess. What if Amma gets mad at her and throws her out of the house? So she does the only logical thing. She blames it on the cat. As the day goes on, however, Mei Mei starts to rethink her actions until her guilty conscience leads her to make a dramatic confession, and thankfully Amma understands. Together, they fix the cup, with Amma reminding Mei Mei that there can be beauty in something broken. Broken tackles themes of guilt, forgiveness, and repair for little readers in an easily digestible way, with a lovable narrator, a gentle grandma, and a cat with a very accusing glare. We have art cards featuring a guilty Mei Mei for giveaway. Please email me if you'd like some.
Hi, I'm Justin, and up next we have a story sure to pluck at your heart and guitar strings. Have you heard the one about the blackbird? Jack has always lived in a house alive with music, and he is eager to learn guitar and master the tune he enjoys most, the one about the blackbird. Jack asks his grandfather to teach him, who with patience and passion shows Jack. But don't forget, fundamentals come first. As time goes on, Jack grows up with the teachings of his grandfather carried with him. When he returns home, his grandfather's memory is no longer as sharp as it once was when Jack was a kid, and now it's his turn to remind his grandfather how to play the one about the blackbird one last time. The one about the blackbird highlights intergenerational relationships while graciously introducing difficult themes like familial illness. With dynamic art and heartwarming text, the one about the blackbird is a celebration of music and the connection it builds in people of all ages.
I know you're not supposed to play with your food, but I'll make an exception for Spaghetti, the cute little mouse protagonist of this next book. Spaghetti loves collecting things like pasta, single buttons, pencil stubs, and more. Spaghetti's family thinks he's just making a mess, but for Spaghetti, these lost objects are treasures that he can't bear to part with, until his parents insist that something has to change, and Spaghetti must find a way to repurpose his collection. So he decides to combine all these leftover bits and bobs to create something new that his whole family can enjoy. Spaghetti inspires creativity, recycling, and problem solving by thinking outside the pasta box, and is ideal for young makers and dreamers, and of course, anyone who loves spaghetti.
Now, I want to encourage you all to come closer and just a little bit closer as we invite you back into the pocket to say hello to the newest gnome. Fans of Lauren Saloy will be over the mushroom round moon to know that we're stepping back into the hidden world of gnomes with her new book, The Newest Gnome. A mushroom circle is cropped up in the pocket, which can only mean one thing, the arrival of a new gnome. Growly Maru is the newest inhabitant, and as each gnome takes care to share their role in the community, Growly becomes less and less sure about their own role. But by the light of a full moon, they seem to find just the right words to describe such a picturesque evening. Turns out, Growly Maru is a poet. The Newest Gnome is a wonderful picture book about finding your place by embracing family and community, and is perfect for instilling little ones with a respect and appreciation for nature and the world around us. Now, if you, like us, have fallen in love with this adorable cast of characters, have we got the item for you? We've got the newest known character posters, and you know exactly where to get them. Don't hesitate to reach out to Sam.
I honestly can't stop talking about this next book, The Little Ghost Quilt's Winter Surprise. I love pretty much everything about this spooktacular sequel, and I can't wait for you to pick up a copy if you haven't already. You may remember our quilted ghost friend from his first adventure, released back in 2020. In The Little Ghost Who Was a Quilt, we meet a ghost who is made out of a quilt and is therefore heavier than all his friends who are made of sheets. But he soon realizes that there are benefits to being a quilt, especially on chilly Halloween nights. In this sequel, the ghost quilt is floating around town and watches humans doing some strange things like putting up twinkling lights and hanging wreaths on doors. He doesn't fully understand it, but he decides he wants to share this warm, festive feeling with his friends who don't get to float outside during the cold winter months, and he recreates a cozy celebration in his home. When it soon becomes clear to the readers that the humans and ghosts are getting ready for Christmas, this is a story that can be read ahead of any holiday that involves gathering with friends. And once again, we're reminded that being different is a positive, not a negative, as the ghost quilt is the only ghost who is able to stay warm while outside. We have a limited amount of postcards, for giveaway. Please email me if you'd like any.
Next is an old favorite in brand new packaging. Commemorating 16 years since its original publication, Our Corner Grocery Store is re releasing with a brand new cover. Every Saturday, Anna Maria helps her grandparents at their corner grocery store. Through her many tasks, she meets friends and faces from all over the neighborhood, including sidewalk chalk artists, delivery workers, and of course, the patrons themselves. In this wonderful picture book by celebrated children's author Joanne Schwartz, young readers will be introduced to the importance of local communities and flourishing independent businesses. At Nono and Nona's, neighbors meet, news is shared, and friends are made. Anything you'll ever need, you can find at our corner grocery store.
On the surface, Lena looks like a chicken, but if you were to ask her, she would tell you that she is, in fact, a dinosaur. She's far braver than any other chicken in her coop, who don't really understand her, and even the farmers can tell she has personality. Then one day, a weasel threatens the coop, and it's up to Lena to unleash her inner dinosaur and stand up for her family. Not to mention, the farmer's daughter, Madeline, completes a science fair project that shows that chickens really are descended from dinosaurs, proving Lena right once and for all. Courage, self-confidence, and staying true to yourself are all rolled up into Lena's character, and there's additional STEM content, including an author's note, that makes this plucky tale a dynamite pick for any picture book fan. We have art cards featuring a defiant Lena available for giveaway. Please email me if you'd like any.
Now, from chickens that thrive to dinos that drive. Have you ever been picked up in a taxi driven by a T Rex or heard an iguanodon sing a country song? In Dinos That Drive, dinosaurs other than Lena come alive. In this book of poems and pictures, dinosaurs take on many different personalities and vehicular vocations, including race car and bus driver. And for those skeptics on the call, the book is quick to solve the logistics of how a dinosaur might be powering these vehicles. Spoiler alert, it's electricity. With cackle-worthy caricatures of differing dinos and rhythmic patterns in his poems, enthusiastic and reluctant readers alike will learn how to have fun with language. Sprinkled with fun facts about the dinosaurs on each page, this book knows how to engage in learning through play.
Jake plans a dino-themed sleepover for his birthday, but when all of his friends get sick and can't make it, he's disappointed, until he wakes up to find actual dinosaurs in his living room. Soon, Jake and his roarsome new pals are throwing a party, visiting his sick friends, and heading to the park to play soccer. Everyone's invited, just don't tell the T-Rex she's way too big and scary, right? Turns out the T-Rex just wants to be included, and after shyly spying on the party, she soon joins in the fun. Of course, this is an excellent read for all dinosaur fans, but it also reminds us to be empathetic and inclusive, especially when making new friends, not to mention finding and celebrating the little joys in life. We have posters that would make a dynamite decoration for classrooms and libraries. Please email me if you'd like any.
Now, as the dinosaurs surely know, sometimes it's just not your day. And that seems to be the case at the Harrison Pseudo household in Just Another Perfect Day. The kids slept in too late, the pups are puddle soaked, and mom and dad are swamped in the day's tumultuous tasks. Not every day is as picture perfect as it seems, but still, the family does what it can to make the best of it. By day's end, the family finds the joy of the day in time spent together, dancing, making dinner, and sharing their emotions about the day that went wrong. With poem like rhythm, readers will glide through the story about sharing your feelings and the importance of family during the not so perfect days.
It's a bird, it's a plane, it's Danger Eagle! The bravest, boldest stuffed penguin you'll ever meet, Danger Eagle is always up for adventure, especially if it involves showing off their stunt-filled moves. Not even other stuffed animals can get in Danger Eagle's way. With graphic novel-style panels in between regular spreads, Danger Eagle is the perfect introduction to comics for young readers and will appeal to reluctant readers with action-packed scenes and references to classic movies like Indiana Jones and more. It also encourages imaginative play and basic storytelling skills. Both the author and illustrator are Indigenous, so while their heritage doesn't play a role in the book, keep an eye out for references to indigeneity in the art. As someone who still has her favorite doll in a place of pride, I love seeing a kid and his stuffed penguin take on the world.
Now, with this final book, I am so pleased to share with you the first picture book to be published under Tundra's newest imprint, Swiftwater Books. Canada, We Are the Story is a reimagining of Richard Wagamese's poem of the same name, now seen through the eyes of a young Indigenous student as they find what it means to be a proud Canadian. Calling on their ancestors, they begin to learn about their cultural history and its roots in all of the beauty and nature in the world around them. Woven into the fabric of this land is a diversity of stories that encourages all readers to embrace this diversity as a source of togetherness. As the book speaks to a new generation of Indigenous children, it welcomes everyone to honor the past, find belonging here and now, and look toward the future in this new place called Canada.
Since spooky season is officially upon us, I wanted to quickly remind you of some of Tundra's scarily good picture books that came out earlier this year. This book is Dangerous expands the Narwhal and Jelly universe with a focus on Jelly, who doesn't do dangerous and needs your help to get out of this book. The Witching Hour is a sweet bedtime tale featuring a fussy baby and a coven of witches who are willing to try anything to settle their little one at night. And have you heard the legend of the vampire jam sandwich? All I'll say is that you better make sure your strawberry jam is locked up tight. And I have just the friend, to help you keep those jars safe. We'd love to stay in touch and talk more about all of Tundra's books this year. Please feel free to reach out to us via email or on social media. Thanks for listening, and thanks Booklist for hosting this webinar.
Thank you.
Thanks so much, Sam and Justin. Now we'll hear from Astra Books for Young Readers team. Carrie McManus is the marketing director at Astra Books for Young Readers. She will be joined by her colleague, Addie Marin, marketing assistant for Astra Books for Young Readers, to present some exciting titles from Astra. They will also introduce Jill Davis, editorial director of Hippo Park, and illustrator Meryl Rainey, who will present later in the program. So without further ado, take it away, Carrie and Addie.
Hi, everyone. I'm Addie Marin from Astra, and I'm joined here today by my colleague, Carrie McManus, and we're very excited to be here. Thank you so much. Next slide, please. Our first title today is Zohran Walks New York, where readers can walk alongside Democratic mayoral candidate Zohran Mamdani as he explores all 5 boroughs of New York City and celebrates the wide array of people and places that make the city so special. Next slide, please. Zohran Walks New York is acclaimed cartoonist Millie Von Platten's picture book debut, and it's packed with playful illustrations that reflect her trademark eye for detail and love of the city. Next slide. Hand this book to budding New York City enthusiasts, kids interested in learning more about civics and what it means to be a good neighbor, and anyone who loves the joyful chaos of life in the big city. Next slide, please.
Curry Means More is a story about a girl introducing a friend to curry and discovering all the things that it means as they learn to make it together. Next slide. With delicious writing and illustrations, this book showcases the magic of a home-cooked meal. Next. Here's a terrific choice for kids who love trying new foods and flavors. Teachers and librarians seeking diverse titles with South Asian representation will also enjoy this book. Next.
Next up is the Dangerous Alphabet book. In a surprising twist on the classic alphabet tale, an angry alligator does his best to upstage sweet, adorable avocado as the two argue over elegant eggplants and eerie electric eels, kissing kiwis and killer king cobras, and many more delightful and devious duos. Next slide. D.K. Ryland is a hilarious and award-winning author on the rise. Her book, Giraffe is Too Tall for This Book, sold over 50,000 copies in its first 6 months, was a Target Book Club of the Month pick, and earned a starred review from Shelf Awareness. Next slide. This zippy, zany story is a hilarious read aloud and a great pick for beginning readers. Nature-loving kids will have a great time learning about a diverse range of fruits, vegetables, and animals. Next slide, please.
This Hair Belongs is a joyful ode to Black hair that will empower readers to celebrate the historical, cultural, and emotional significance of their natural hair. Next slide. Author Janae Brown Wood and illustrator Erin K. Robinson weave African and American history into this powerful book, making it an essential title honoring Black heritage. Next slide. Lyrical and beautiful, this book will be available just in time for Black History Month in February 2026. Next.
In The Dream Builder's Blueprint, author Alice Faye Duncan and illustrator E.B. Lewis reimagine a 1967 speech by Martin Luther King Jr. to a junior high audience as a motivational and gorgeously illustrated found poem detailing how striving for excellence, justice, and compassion can point young people towards a bright future. Next slide. Highlighting principles that remain relevant and necessary today, this book has a universal message that's ideal for parents, librarians, and teachers searching for a book that distills Dr. King's principles to a level that kids can understand. Next slide. The Dream Builder's Blueprint makes a great addition to a Black History Month, MLK Junior Day, or poetry lesson. It would also be an excellent graduation gift. Next slide.
Meet LA Dodgers pitcher Fernando Valenzuela in Viva Valenzuela. Next. Written by Major League Baseball journalist Natalie Alonso and stunningly illustrated by John Parra, here's a celebration of the rookie who became a symbol of Mexican-American pride and a hero to Latinos everywhere. Next. This inspirational book is perfect for any baseball lover or for teachers and librarians looking for books about Latino history, baseball stories, or diverse role models. A Spanish edition will be published at the same time in March 2026. Next. And now I am so pleased to introduce you to Jill Davis, editorial director of Hippo Park, and illustrator Meryl Rainey. Jill and Meryl are here to give you an exclusive behind-the-scenes look on how they created the new picture book On the Air with Dr. Doodlebug, coming on October 21st, next week, from Hippo Park. Jill and Meryl, take it away.
Hello, everybody. Can anyone see me or hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, great. Hi, Meryl.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. All right, let's see what we can get done. So first of all, On the Air with Dr. Doodlebug, let me just give you a brief description. It's a radio show in a book in which 4 bugs, one little group of bugs and 3 other bugs, write in or call in or talk to this world-renowned entomologist and ask questions about the things they're going through as bugs. Now, it is funny. It is filled with great facts. It definitely makes learning fun in a way that is not so easy to do. And in a way that if you know Susan Goodman's books, she really excels at. She's written books on poop and burping in space and a great election book. She can't help but make facts fun. But today we want to tell you how far this book came. It was an actually amazing metamorphosis itself. And I hope that this will be interesting to you. So we have Meryl Rainey here, and we're going to talk about the evolution of the book. So what do you remember from the beginning, Meryl?
I remember you reaching out to me and saying that you had these, I can't remember how many, like 10 to 20 bug letters from Susan, and you wanted to know if we could put it together in some form of a book. Letters were great, but we needed to kind of figure out what was going to bring it all together.
Exactly. And so if you go to the next slide, you'll see Meryl can talk to you about the evolution of the character design of Dr. Doodlebug.
So we did a lot of different kinds of character designs for this book. We initially started, we didn't know that it was going to be a radio show at first, and we had started playing around with an idea of a flea Dr. Doodlebug who rode on the back of the cat and went around the world hopping on the different creatures, and that's how Dr. Doodlebug knew so much about everything. But then we started kind of pulling back and wanted to kind of make him more, I guess, cute, but realistic. I don't know if realistic's the right word, but Cute and in a different direction. I think this is when we decided that maybe the radio show would be a great way to kind of encapsulate all these letters in a more cohesive way. So we started with this kind of like diva-driven psychologist who rode to the radio station on her little bicycle, to kind of this traditional like mad scientist kind of feel to it. And then but none of them were quite fitting right, and we wanted to try and make Doodlebug a little bit cuter and more accessible to kids. And so we kept reworking it, trying to think about what a cool radio DJ might kind of look like. And then towards the end there, if you look at the Doodlebug on the right, him doodling out his answers to each one of these bugs, that was an idea that kind of came a little bit longer down the line as we started to develop the picture book.
All right, next slide. So just to show you when we first started, we began to realize that well, it wasn't, we had too much text. And we had this disgusting bug that Meryl had drawn. As an editor, you kind of have to be brave enough to tell your illustrator, I don't want anything that disgusting in my book. This is also just to show you how the process of trying to whittle down the questions that the bugs had for Dr. Doodlebug needed to come together. And if you look at the next slide, you're going to see, and Meryl can talk about this. The idea here was we had 20 letters from these bugs, and how were we going to make this interesting to kids? And here's one of the things that Meryl tried.
So we were trying to go back and forth in terms of the difficult part was we had Dr. Doodlebug in a radio studio, and then trying to figure out how we were going to have that conversation flow without it getting too boring or stagnant within the artwork. So we started trying different things and kind of truncating down what the text might be, so that way we could actually grab the nitty gritty of what we wanted the reader to get, but also catch the sense of humor, but also give a sense of environment in terms of where all these bugs kind of live. Could we change the slide?
Yep.
So we really started kind of playing around with different angles and positions, and really trying to hone into, if I was a monarch caterpillar, a monarch caterpillar that is a kid, how do we show their world, what they would be doing currently while they're talking with Dr. Doodlebug. And then we added in the different kind of electronic devices that kids today kind of would communicate with each other. So whether it's through a Zoom meeting like we're on here today, or texting, or calling in the Dr. Doodlebug, we kind of threw that into the mix.
Yeah, so what started off as that letter that you saw in the previous slide now becomes, help, Dr. Doodlebug, I can't stop eating all day long. I munch on milkweed. This morning I woke up with a strange urge to hang upside down and spin myself into a sack. How weird is that? And then we wanted to make sure that Dr. Doodlebug sounded educational, reassuring, sympathetic. Hello, Monty, it's not weird, it's wonderful. You are just like thousands of other caterpillars who have the same urge. So we were starting to really zero in on what we thought was hitting all the beats and using more of a graphic novel style, which Meryl will tell you a little bit about in the next slide. Oh no, in this slide, we're going to just talk about Susan. On a special note, the reason why Susan Goodman isn't here today is because halfway through this book, she developed problems with her memory and was soon diagnosed with dementia. So unfortunately, we're not able to have her on board, but we have tried with everything we can, everything we have to do what she would have wanted. Okay, so we are being asked to wrap up. So let's just go through the next few slides. So this is where Meryl decided to do the graphic novel approach, which we started to love. Next slide. This was the sort of Howard Stern setup. Next slide. Antonio Ant wants to know how to find his way home. And next slide. And this is the one where Merrill used the Berenstain Bears for his for a wonderful inspiration for the next slide, which shows Antonio having this adventure. Next slide. And so you can just see, because we need to wrap up, but let's just flip through the rest. And we hope that you love this book. And thank you, Booklist. And sorry we went on. Hope you love the book. And thank you so much, Meryl. And thank you so much,
Oh,
everyone.
you guys are welcome. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Team Astra. And now we'll hear from Sarah Mackenzie. Sarah is a speaker, author, and the host of the Read Aloud Revival, a podcast that has been downloaded over 16 million times. Her published book includes the USA Today and Publishers Weekly bestseller, The Read Aloud Family, Teaching from Rest, and several award-winning picture books. She is the publisher and founder of the boutique publishing house Waxwing Books, a press dedicated to making timeless books families will love to read aloud. Thanks for joining us, Sarah.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. Just making sure that all, you can see my screen okay. Is that look good to you? Excellent. Okay, yes, I'm Sarah Mackenzie, and I am the publisher of Waxwing Books, which is a new boutique children's press. And because we're new to you and to the world, we're less than 2 years old, I wanted to just give a little bit, tell you a little bit about our press. We publish beautifully crafted children's books that are meant to be read aloud and cherished for generations, handed down. So we're committed to giving really meticulous attention to detail and every aspect of content and design. That commitment has really shown up for us in that we have released 7 books, and all 7 have received awards, sometimes multiple awards and or starred reviews from, like the IBBPA award to the IPPY award, Northern Lights Book Award. We just found out yesterday several of these books have also won Moonbeams, and we have garnered some starred reviews from both Booklist and Kirkus. And I'll show you each of these titles also in a minute. I feel like our book sales also really speak for themselves. We're trying to make books that we know families are looking for. And our first book, this A Little More Beautiful, just released 2 years ago in 2023. And with, as you can see with all of these sales numbers, we're able to reach a pretty wide audience, with most of our books selling more than 10,000 copies their first year out. So let me tell you a little bit about each of these titles. A Little More Beautiful was the book we launched our publishing house with. We actually launched it on Kickstarter, and we sold over almost 5,000 books in 3 weeks, outperforming our goal by over 400%. It's now been out for a couple of years and has sold 12,000 copies. This is a story about seeing and being seen. It's perfect for readers who love Miss Rumphius by Barbara Cooney, or The Library by Sarah Stewart and David Small. It's a very, very sweet book, illustrated by Breezy Brookshire. This is another one from our backlist, While Everyone is Sleeping. This one has been even more popular, selling more than 13,000 copies since we released it 2 years ago, and winning the IPPY and the Benjamin Franklin Gold. Just before morning in this book, there's a little shrew who's awakened by a moon and a mysterious fragrance that's like calling to her. So she goes out to see where it's coming from, and it leads her to a garden full of moonflowers where there's moths fluttering and crickets humming and frogs and peepers keeping the beat. And little shrew basically has this merry romp in a nighttime garden. It's a great bedtime story illustrated by Canadian illustrator Gabrielle Grimard. Our most awarded book yet, I think this might have changed since yesterday, but so far before then, our most awarded book was Because Barbara Cooney Paints Her World. This is a picture book biography illustrated by Eileen Ryan Ewan. And it tells the story about Barbara Cooney's commitment to capturing the beauty of the world onto the page with truly gorgeous illustrations. The illustrator, Eileen, did a ton of research in Barbara's hometown of Damariscotta, Maine, to get the details just right. And Booklist, thank you, Booklist, gave it a star review, saying it will intrigue many readers, adult readers as well as children, particularly those familiar with Cooney's timeless picture books. Dear Duck, Please Come is a book that came out at the very beginning of this year, illustrated by Charles Santoso. This one's our best-selling picture book so far. It is a very lighthearted romp through Piney Glen with this band of friends. Basically, Duck goes out to his mailbox and he finds a letter from his good friend Rabbit that says, "Dear Duck, I lost my tooth. please come. And Duck doesn't have teeth, so he doesn't really know what this means, but he knows that a good friend would try to solve his friend's problem. So he searches all over Piney Glen for teeth, and he's kind of collecting friends, and they're all looking. As the story goes, he collects more and more friends. Something super fun Charles Santoso did with this book is he tucked hidden teeth in the illustrations everywhere. So you can see like one right here in the shadows. There's another one here. They're all over there. They're in the leaves, they're in the clouds. It is so much fun. I don't know how many teeth are in the illustrations of this book, but it's got a surprising ending, which is pretty fun and really shows that being a good friend is not about fixing each other's problems, but is about showing up for one another. Kirkus Reviews actually said that this one is great for fans of A.A. Milne's Winnie the Pooh, which we were not complaining about that comparison. Our first middle grade novel was Beyond Mulberry Glen. This one just came out this last January, released earlier this year. In just 10 months, it's sold over 11,000 copies. It is the story of 11-year-old Lydia Green, who lives quite happily in Mulberry Glen, but rumors begin swirling about this powerful force that dwells in the forest tenebrae. And that's a little hint because there's kind of a lot of little Latin Easter eggs all throughout, and chapter titles, so not really Easter eggs, but there's also some Latin Easter eggs tucked into the text here. But basically, Lydia knows that this darkness is not to be trifled with, but a couple of her family members put their whole village in quite a lot of danger. And so she and a few friends have to leave home, get braver than they've ever gotten before to save their village, to save the Valley Lands. Let's see. This one has chapter heads and an interior map illustrated by Astrid Shekels, just laid out absolutely beautifully. Fantasy novel. We always recommend it for ages 8 to 12, of course, or as a read aloud. Painting Wonder is a picture book biography about the illustrator of the Narnia books, Pauline Baynes. So Pauline Baynes illustrated for Tolkien and for Lewis. Kirkus gave this one a starred review, saying it's a beautiful tribute. This one is told, really beautifully told lyrically, and then it also has quite a lot of back matter, timeline, photos, interesting information that makes it especially wonderful pick for schools and libraries. Our newest book just came out last week. Very exciting. This is Flora and the Jazzers, written and illustrated by Astrid Shekels. It is a Cinderella story set in 1920s, maybe New York City, in a big grand hotel. Basically, Flora is this ferret who loves music and longs to attend a concert someday, but she's just a lowly scullery maid, so she has to save all of her pennies. And she discovers that the Jazzers, her favorite band, are performing at a hotel where she works, and she's absolutely determined to hear them, but her manager forbids her from going and tells her music is not for someone like you. Turns out, however, that the Jazzers have a problem and Flora is just the one to help. This is an absolutely stunning book. Astrid outdid herself, 40 pages, gorgeous illustrations. I think it's no wonder Kirkus gave it a starred review, saying it's sumptuously illustrated. And that book, again, just released last week, October 7th. So just right hot off the presses. We have art postcards, stickers, bookmarks. If you want any of those for free to hand out, you can email Elena@waxwingbooks.com and we'll send you whatever collection of those goodies you'd like. At Waxwing, we make these kind of books with a team of amazing, like a world-class team, really. Our editorial partners include Cara Llewellyn. She's the one who worked on, she was the art director for The Undefeated, the Caldecott Award-winning Undefeated. Michael Green, he was the former president of Philomel. Caroline Starr Rose, he's a celebrated author, is also one of our amazing editors. And we have a really high value for that collaborative nature of picture book making, especially, or the visuals and text tying into each other. We partner with RRD to print, and we are just absolutely committed to that excellence, which is so fun. And it kind of leads me to tell you a little bit about why we call our publishing house Waxwing, just because it's kind of a fun story. Tommy DePaolo was a very good friend of mine. Most of you probably know he is the author and illustrator of Stregonona, as well as a bazillion other fabulous picture books for children, and he passed away in 2020. And he taught me that only the best stories are good enough for children. And in fact, the reason I named the publishing house Waxwing is because Tommy called his publishing house Whitebird ink. Oops, I meant to scan to the next one. Whitebird ink. He showed white birds in so many of his books. He tucks them into all these illustrations. You'll find them across so many of his titles. And he always would talk about how the white bird helped him think about hope. Like it was like a beacon of hope and a reminder that creativity is right there if we'll look for it. So I knew that if I ever started a publishing house, I would also name it after a bird. So where I live, cedar waxwings stop to eat berries off a tree in my yard for about a week each year. And they're just this herald of good things coming. So we decided to call a publishing house Waxwing. Now, one unique thing we do at Waxwing is that we offer free audiobooks and video books with all of our picture books. So when you order a picture book from us for your collection, you are also giving your patrons access to the audiobook and video book because these are free for purchasers to access with a QR code on the back. We have a very strong value in reading aloud and oral storytelling. And so we give parents the chance to, or customers, grandparents, whatever, the chance to let kids be read to even when they can't do the reading themselves. And just to give you a little tiny peek at what that looks like, I have like 1 minute of a video book here to share with you.
Badger was relaxing in the meadow. "What are you doing, Duck?" "Rabbit lost his tooth. I'm going to help him find it." "That's too bad," said Badger, "but it's a good friend thing to do to help. I will help too. Perhaps he lost it at the pond?" Duck and Badger raced to the pond. They searched high and low, under floating lily pads, over nibbling fish, around whispering reeds, but they did not find that tooth.
I love that. So that's just a little peek. We actually, let me move to
Badger
the next.
was
Oops, how do I
relaxed.
move to the next slide? There we go. All of our picture books actually have these audio and video book streams available. Your patrons or customers can just use that QR code on the back of the book and then they can access it. And they're all professionally produced because, again, we believe that only the best is good enough for children. So that's the story of Waxwing. Those are our first few books. Thank you so much for giving me this time to share with you. If you'd like to get in touch with me or anyone at the Waxwing team, you can contact, this is my info, Sarah at Waxwing Books. Elena is here as well. She's our marketing coordinator. And again, if you want Flora bookmarks, stickers, art cards, go ahead and email Elena and she'll get some of those sent your way. Thank you to everybody who's here and thank you to Booklist for the chance to share today.
Thank you so much, Sarah. Our final presenter will be Deborah Sloan. With over 30 years experience in the kid-lit space, Deborah Sloan works as a publicity and marketing consultant and is proud to name Blue Dot Kids Press as a client. Blue Dot Kids Press books engage young readers' innate sense of wonder and empathy, connecting them to our global community and the pale blue dot we call home. And the materials that compose our books are ingredients you can feel good about having in your classroom, library, and home. That's a yes for me. A trusted source of insight and information on children's publishing, Deborah is simply thrilled to make her career in publishing and children's publishing in particular. After her family, there's nothing she cares so much about as a good book and the person who created it, and sharing that book with the kids it's written for. Bring us home, Deborah.
Okay, thank you so much, Taylor. Well, hello, you passionate, ever smart, ever thoughtful children's librarians. I want to jump right into the books because they're that good, but let me first give you a bit of background. It was April 2020, and the world was shuttered down with COVID, and yet Heidi Hill showed her resilience by launching Blue Dot Kids Press, books that engage kids' innate sense of wonder and empathy, connecting them to our global community and the pale blue dot we call home. And she picked that timing to coincide with the 50th anniversary of Earth Day. So happy 5th birthday to this intrepid press. Heidi is a strong advocate for citizen science, and she walks the talk. You may have read the 2 pieces in Publishers Weekly about her year-long Set Sail for Science journey, where she, her husband, and their 7-year-old son traveled from the Bay Area to New Zealand on their sailboat, collecting data for ocean environmental organizations, all the while publishing award-winning books. She believes she's the only publisher, and definitely the only children's publisher, to produce lists while at sea. Blue Dot Kids Press now has a proven track record for quality, and the books get consistent coverage in top media outlets, New York Times, Book Riot, International Literacy Association, and all the trades, including stars from Booklist, PW, Kirkus, SLJ, and Hornbook. We've received Best Book commendations by Bank Street, Cooperative Children's Book Center, Outstanding International Trade Books, the Jane Addams Peace Award. You get the idea. But most importantly, Blue Dot Kid Press titles have received accolades and commendations from you. So thank you for believing in our mission of publishing beautiful science, nature, SEL, and global voices. This 5th birthday year brings an exciting new publishing distinction. Each season, starting with this one, we'll be publishing 1 to 2 titles from emerging US authors and illustrators, creators that have a unique voice and a message that fits our editorial themes of social emotional learning and science and nature. Some of them hail from Heidi's home state of California, and starting with Own Voices and Own Stories author Erica Lee Schleicher of Skyluck, which you see in the middle here, which was published on September 30th. And I'm going to get to that book in a minute. I just want to say, we believe now more than ever, we need more and more stories that focus on these themes that are told in different ways and from different perspectives. Stories are powerful vehicles of empathy, and our books widen that lens of what it means to live on planet Earth. So here we go. Next slide. Sunday. This book hits lots of notes, and Golden Retriever fans are going to especially love it. It's got good dog Carl vibes, says Naomi from the Napa Book Vine. Here, a boy and his golden dog turn a slow Sunday at home into a magical adventure to faraway places in a picture book that celebrates imagination and play. It's intergenerational too, with a loving, awe kind of aspect, inspiring relationship between a grandson and his grandmother, making it an easy recommend for grandparents. I love the illustrations and the way this story felt like a classic from my childhood. The subtle attention to generational family members is one of my favorite reminders for young readers, said one bookseller. Kirkus, in a starred review, said, "Imagine if play has never been this exciting." Next slide. Published in January and named a Best Book of the Year by School Library Journal, 2 starred reviews. Your colleagues love it, as you can see in the quotes. It's a rainy day book. It's a let's travel without traveling book, and we hope you agree. Next slide. Next slide. My Dear Sea, a love letter to the sea and all it holds by Ronny Khuri. Booklist calls it positively mesmerizing. I mean, come on. Doesn't that cover artwork just make you want to run into the ocean? Next slide. On a family beach trip, an excited young swimmer rushes to the water as her dad cautions her to respect the sea. And she swims in the waves and builds sandcastles on shore. She shares valuable lessons on responsibility that she learned from her best friend, the sea. As she explores ancient sea caves and glimpses amazing creatures just beyond the waves, she reminds all of us that caring for and respecting the ocean also means keeping it clear of trash and pollution. As the day closes on another successful beach adventure, she waves farewell to her friend and promises to return tomorrow. Next slide. My Dear Sea is a love letter to the sea and all it holds, with pages full of jewel-toned illustrations that you can see here, depicting beach scenes and marine surprises. Its rhyming lines reveal important lessons all beachgoers should know about the ocean's importance and its conservation, making it a perfect classroom read aloud and beach lovers reading gift. Science and nature, imagination and play, marine life. Next slide. Giant steps. A young child puts on boots and heads outside to explore and finds a tiny world of battling beetles, racing snails, and ants on the move in this STEAM-focused picture book for nature lovers. Readers are really right there with our main character stepping out into the world. Next slide. The art in this book brings me right back to when my kids were little. Every small step into the backyard leads to a new and wondrous find that unlocks the imagination, and it magnifies the child's world so you can feel how large the natural world is to this child. Next slide. For units on science and nature, imagination and play, this is a great preschool storytime read. Next slide. And now our lead title for fall, Skyluck, just published on September 30th. We really loved that Erica is an Own Voices author. And we love that the story is a fresh new way to think of abundant thinking, an important SEL concept for kids today, much like growth mindset. It's about focusing on what we do have and allows us to see possibility rather than limits and shift our perspective. The author, Erica Lee Schleicher, grew up in cities around the world as a third culture kid. Her mom is Aboriginal Taiwanese from the Amos tribe, and her father is white American. She lived in 12 cities on 3 continents, packed and moved boxes into 2 spaces, new spaces 32 times and counting. She is a true citizen of the world. Her debut picture book, Wild Green's Beautiful Girl from Sleeping Bear Press, won the 2022 Own Voices, Own Stories Award. So this is her second picture book. Next slide. Skyluck is a magical picture book about taking delight in nature's abundance. It's a dark night, and as friends gather to look for shooting stars, one boy who didn't see the celestial light, instead he sees an airplane, a full moon, but no shooting stars. He's frustrated by his bad luck, and he wants to give up until his uncle helps him see things differently. What if we open our hearts to all the wonders in the sky, the bright and the quiet, the everyday and the once in a lifetime? What if nature's gifts are all around us, ready for us to recognize them? What if Skyluck is infinite and everywhere for everyone? This is the kind of thinking that's elemental to our kids' growth, encouraging empathy and resilience. Abundant thinking is hot in social emotional learning right now. Plus, it's a timely read aloud. Next slide, please. Together right now, this is a perfect, next slide. This is a perfect book for the moment. As our world can seem so divided at times, this book is all about empathy and global citizenships. The title tells it all. Together right now. Right now, you are here reading this book. Imagine what someone else is doing at this exact moment, maybe 2 blocks away, or across the country, or an animal on the other side of our big, beautiful planet. Look closely and you'll discover what's happening all over the world at this very moment. Each new scene of oceans and deserts and markets and farms and downtowns will keep kids engaged and get them asking questions with a sense of all we all share. This is such a Blue Dot Kids Press book. Olga Fediva is an award-winning children's author and illustrator, and her illustrations have been shortlisted at exhibitions in Italy and China, and her books have been selected as best children's books of the year from Bank Street and USBBY. And lastly, next slide, Moon Sailors. We've been looking for a great bedtime book that's also heavy in social emotional learning and STEAM, and we think you're going to love the dreamy illustrations and that the author is a librarian. Bed sheets, billow, and solar winds as we cast our boat afloat. We're moon sailors in search of treasure perched on pillow seats. Anyone who's had kids or been a kid knows that kids turn the beds into all sorts of items, forts, planes, and in this case, a sailboat. Join in on a sleepy time adventure as 2 siblings and their cat dream of the sea, the sand, the stars, and creatures that live where the ocean meets the moon in this beautifully illustrated bedtime, celebrating imagination. So climb aboard, it's time to sleep. Who's it for? It's a go-to-bedtime story with lyrical, rhythmic tests that soothes little ones to sleep. And it's a bedtime story that celebrates the wonders of nature, making it a great STEAM read aloud. Next slide. We have teacher's guides and activity sheets for all of our titles. And I just want to close by saying, you really can feel good about recommending Blue Dot Kids Press books because they are all sustainable books. We take pride that we print on high quality, sustainably sourced, FSC certified paper with vegetable inks. So these are books that are good for you. And we get behind what we do by donating 1% of sales to environmental causes. So thank you again for helping us get to our 5th anniversary. We look forward to sharing books for you. That's it for now. Thanks for all you do, and thank you to Booklist.
Thank you so much, Deborah, and a huge thank you to all of today's wonderful panelists. Tomorrow, all attendees will receive an email containing links to today's video recording, slide presentation, title list, and a certificate of completion. For more about Booklist webinars, be sure to visit www.booklistonline.com/webinars, where you can view archives of past webinars and register for upcoming ones like those you see here. You can also find out about the latest webinars on our social channels. Visit us on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and now Blue Sky. Going to AASL in St. Louis this week? Swing by the Booklist booth, number 214, and say hi. We'll have free copies of our latest magazines, buttons, reader advisory fortune tellers, our popular reader recommendation wheel, and book giveaways. Hope to see you there. Thank you for joining us for today's webinar. Another huge thank you to our panelists and to our sponsors, Astra Books for Young Readers, Random House Children's Books, Tundra Books, Waxwing Books, and Blue Dot Kids Press. This concludes today's webinar. See you next time.